scenario that I wasn't sure I'd ever be compelled to share. But after the events of the last couple days of things I've witnessed and observed, I know that it's the time to share this. So I'm going to share with you guys the understanding that I have and I was given many years ago about the time that we're living through right now. So I was very, very close to my grandfather on my dad's side, and he passed away in 2009. He had a very kind of quick and painful death. And I saw him about 12 hours before he actually passed away. And in that time, prior to me getting to him, he had been going in and out of consciousness. Okay. So he was somebody that passed over at the span of a few days, right? Kind of in and out. He saw things that he felt the need to tell me. And one of the things that he told me, which was something I will never forget, is that our generation, my generation, me specifically, I was going to see a revolution on this planet unlike anything that has ever been seen before and captured on Earth. And I remember thinking, it's 2009, right? I remember thinking, boy, that's really strange. But I trusted him. And at that point, I had begun my spiritual practice. I very much understood that things aren't always what we're made to believe. The way I was raised was to question everything I was told, and to really believe none of what you hear and only very little of what you actually see. And that is just how I was raised. And I think a lot of that came from him. And he was somebody who lived his life very much like water off a duck's back. Nothing really bothered him because he seemed to have this understanding about the world that most people just quite frankly didn't. And things didn't get to him the way they did to a lot of people. And he went through the Depression, he served in wars, and all the things. His life was not easy. However, we're going to fast forward to yesterday. So, something you guys don't know about me, I've shared it on the podcast, but I'm going to be a little bit more overt about it, is that I am clairaudient. So, I can hear guides, angels, my ancestors speak to me. And for a while, I thought I was crazy. I was like, you know what? You might be bipolar. You might need to go check this out. That was not the case. I had a therapist. We discussed it. That's not what was happening. But I was walking yesterday. It was a beautiful day in New York, and my grandfather came to me, and he's come to me interesting times around COVID. Now, a few years later, came to me again. And he said that what we're witnessing now is the beginning of this revolution. And I don't really want to say beginning because I think it's been happening for many, many years. And this goes into all that I like to talk about with the Age of Aquarius, right? So the Age of Aquarius is this new beginning on Earth. It's this transformational time. It's from the power of one to the power of many. It's from I to we, right? And we're starting to see faster, quicker, ever since Pluto officially moved into Aquarius, these cracks. And cracks are the following, right? The death of the United Healthcare CEO here in New York City. Even more importantly, the way that the collective has responded to that death of a human. The drones, if you go on TikTok, you can look up Dior bags, because you can't even say drone on TikTok, that are kind of first shown in New Jersey, which isn't far from where I live. I know people personally that have seen them. And this has been going on for about a month and a half. Now they are throughout the country, purportedly around the world. And I have seen some myself. There is a inner war going on between Elon Musk, the billionaire technocrat, and the people that support Donald Trump. There are cracks everywhere you look. And what I've talked about a lot when I've said the systems are breaking, the systems are crumbling, I want to take some time and explain what that really means. When you think of everything that has been created by man, by humans on this planet, that is a system, right? Education, healthcare, government, finance, you name it, right? The way we work in this country, the way that organized religion has had such a historic impact on the people of the planet. There are a few, right, quote unquote, that have created these structures for everyone. And like it or not, most of us, if not all of us at one time, had bought in to some, if not all of these structures, right? This is just the way that it is, right? You go to school, you get an education, you do as you're told, you're subservient, then you graduate, you go to college, you start your life in debt, then you work for someone. We have been conditioned to just do and not think. And the age of Aquarius is now waking people up out of that obedient slumber. And I know that these comments and these observations that I have are going to alienate some people, which is why I have been so scared to share them. But in this communication with my grandfather yesterday, he said something so profound. And he said, at the end of your life, you are not going to care who liked you or how many people agreed with you or whether somebody didn't agree with you. You are going to be thinking about what you did with the time that you had on this planet. And there has been something that has been bubbling inside of me my whole life that has pushed me to put the podcast out, which was really scary, pushed me to quit my job when I didn't have another job and go into the entrepreneur thing with my husband, which was super scary. There has been questions in my head for a very long time of why are we just doing everything that we're told, which is scary, right? There's this certain amount of what I call false sense of safety that comes along with just doing as we've been told or doing as we've been conditioned. And the reason I'm putting this out there is because I'm sharing the fact that I believe this whole conditioning is breaking down. There are other life forms that exist outside of Earth. If you don't believe it, that's okay. You can choose. It's the universe, right? YOU. You get to choose. But for me, I know for a fact that there are other life forms. And I believe that what's happening with these Dior bags or whatever people are calling them, the things in the sky that people are seeing, it's not AI. These are actual things, right? This is just the beginning. Because I believe that in order to shift Earth's energy, in order for us to ascend and shift into another vibration, which is all just energy, we are going to have to fix so many things that are broken on this planet. And you can insert any type of structure, any type of institution, you name it, it needs to shift. However, as humans, we have not acted accordingly. We have not been showing, right, that we care enough to, I mean, some of us have, right? But as a collective in general, we have not been showing that we care to fix everything that's broken. And it's also part of the oppression that we've been put under. Because when you think about yourself as a singular person, you're like, what can I actually do? Well, everything is shit. So what do I, and then people disassociate, right? Which is also part of the conditioning that we're in. Let's not look at anything too close. Let's look at it just enough, and then we'll go dissociate and spend money or drink or, whatever it is, whatever your vice is, we all have one. In order to be able to just like move forward and deal with your life, and just to be like, okay, now I have to go to work, right? And I have to pay bills and I have to do all these things when all this crazy shit is happening and everything seems to be unraveling. But with these other sentient beings, whatever you want to call them, I don't think aliens is the right word, right? It's foreign to us, but they're certainly not alien, depending on where they come from. It is, I have it on good authority that we are not alone in this quest to ascend Earth to a better place, where people are not in so much pain, where people can't pay their bills, where people can't feel safe in their home, where people are in constant stress and nervousness and scarcity because of the system that has been put in place. These systems, like I said, were created by the few that impact the many. And with this shift to the Age of Aquarius, that is massive, because it's taking what has existed for hundreds of years, thousands of years, really, and flipping it over, where it's no longer a few people that are impacting the whole. It is the whole that impact the whole. And these very contrived sort of 60s phrases, right? Oh, power to the people, and, women deserve all. Listen, that is real and it's not contrived. And I think what we're seeing with all the cracks in our society is that the powers that be, the people that control the money, which isn't even the government, right? They're a pawn in the chess game. It is the top 1%, half a percent of a percent of a percent people that are controlling the levers and making all of the moves. They are realizing that people are waking up. They are listening to things that people are saying. We are in a social media evolutionary time. I can get on camera right now and speak to however many people are going to see this video. The jig is up. We know that things aren't right. We understand that we haven't been treated well. We get it, right? The game is rigged, folks. The game has been rigged. And the question is, as a humanity, are we going to just run away and be afraid? Is that what we're going to do? No. Not only are we not going to do that, I believe that we have beings from other realms that are going to help us try to figure out how we move forward in a better way. Because what exists now and what exists today in the collective is done. This way of life that has benefited so few and that has stricken so many is over. And you'll walk outside your house or your apartment or wherever you live, and things will maybe look normal. For a lot of people today, they don't, right? They're seeing shit in the sky. Apparently, there's fog everywhere. What's that about, right? There are major cracks. And I wanted to share what my grandfather told me, because to round out this whole thing, the revolution is here. We don't have to live under duress. We don't have to live in stress. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to live in scarcity. That is not our nature. That is not why we have incarnated, in my opinion, onto planet Earth. That is not why. So what I would propose to you is as things continue to jostle and crack, because it's only going to happen more, think about where you are in that moment. If you're afraid, why are you afraid? Are you afraid because somebody told you you needed to be afraid? Or if you get quiet, do you actually not feel afraid? Are you like, oh, I'm actually okay? If somebody told you that you should be pissed off about something, if you see something or someone do something and you get mad, take a step back and figure out what triggered you. Is it yours? Is it something that somebody told you? We are inundated with so much right now. We have to understand what is true for us, what makes sense for us, and then if we're going to take an action. So the action that I'm choosing to take throughout this time, and I will be doing more of it as I have been, is sharing. I am not afraid of this time. I am not fearful that we're moving into the end of humanity. I'm not fearful of other beings coming into our fields. I'm not fearful of any of it. And I believe that I have prepared many, many lifetimes to be part of the transition that we're going through on planet Earth. And this will also be a global transition. COVID gave us a nice kickoff, right? Not anyone on this planet wasn't affected by it. And prior to that, there hadn't been something like that in a very long time that was truly, truly global and truly, truly international. Now we can communicate with each other. The borders are bullshit, right? When it comes to this, if we're really talking about sentient beings and, whatever is going on out there, it's impacting every single one of us. And we're going to learn that it's the only way out is through to come together and share and be with one another and talk to each other about how we're feeling and look with our own eyes and feel with our own hearts and figure out what is right for us. So thank you for allowing me to share something so intimate. Again, I was really scared to make this video. And as I'm finishing it, I'm even like a little bit shaken up. But stepping into the unknown and doing things that we're not used to doing, or doing things that maybe don't feel good right away, is what this time is all about. Because none of this feels good, right? This isn't a time where we're feeling rosy and safe and happy and, all of the things. We'll have those moments, but there is this underlying energy, and it's disruptive and it's destructive and it's transitory. It's all those things. So lots of love, and I'll be speaking to you guys very soon.